as Alejandro mentioned, my name is Gabriel Chabran. I go by Gab. I'm the Priority Projects Manager with EXP. I'd like to welcome everybody to today's presentation as part of our virtual guest speaker series, co-hosted with the ProvenReady program. Before I introduce today's speakers, I want to briefly tell you a little bit about our organizations. EXP is a local Southern California nonprofit known as the Opportunity Engine. What is that? Through programs like this one, EXP prepares great students like yourself for a better life. Our programs help you gain experience, unlock doors, and build the confidence you need to succeed in school, career, and life. ProvenReady helps build tomorrow's workforce today by giving both high school and community college students the opportunity to learn more about college and career opportunities in the areas of business entrepreneurship, global trade, advanced transportation, and logistics, and the opportunity to earn industry certified credentials in those sectors. Second, I'd want to just welcome the high school and community college students, as well as any administrators that have joined us for today's session. For more info, check out exp.org or provenready.org or follow us on social media. Now let's get started with a warm welcome with today's speakers, Raygena Smith and Ashley Amparano. Raygena Smith, as the Youth Advancement Coordinator for the upcoming transportation project, the Automated People Mover, which is launching in 2023. Raygena enjoys working with many schools within LINXS, Culver City, Inglewood, Hawthorne, and various other schools who have a career technical education pathways for programs such as engineering, building and construction trades to bring students and industry experts together through educational, engaging experiences. Her goal is to help ensure that all students are well equipped and encouraged to apply for jobs within the various careers once exiting high school. Joy is most achieved when gifts are realized, challenges are met, and relationships are cultivated on personal growth transpires. Great. Ashley Amparano is a BIM manager with the LINXS program and has earned a Bachelor of Architecture degree from Cal Poly Pomona and is actively pursuing her architectural license. Go Ashley. She has been working at Fluor on a variety of projects for the past 6 years and joined the LINXS team in March 2018 as a BIM manager. When not working, Ashley enjoys spending time with her family, hiking, cooking, and gardening. This past summer was a great success growing a 48-pound watermelon. Wow, Ashley, you might need to share a photo with that later on today. Without further ado, I will pass it over to Raygena. Thank you so much for being here both today, ladies.
All right, good morning, everyone. Hope you all are doing well. Thank you so much for your divided attention. We really appreciate being here. Thank you so much to the EXP team as well. We really appreciate it. So my name is Raygena Smith. I am the Youth Engagement Coordinator for the LINXS Automated People Mover Project. I'm very excited to be here. In regards to my background, I actually went to Cal Baptist University, majored in political science. And then from there, I moved on to working with 2 middle schools and an elementary school, being in charge of about 400 plus students and all of their STEM initiative programs. And then luckily through my network, I was able to go through and get this project, which is so exciting. I'm very humbled to be a part of this. Today's session goal is to understand that STEM connects to our life every single day. Opportunities are limitless, and to size every opportunity that comes your way, and of course to dream big. We are in Los Angeles, so there are various opportunities out there.
Presenting the future of LAX. Easier, faster, more efficient. Get to your plane on time without the stress. Easily transfer between terminals. Quickly access your rent-a-car or connect with Metro Light Rail. All this becomes a reality with the new Automated People Mover. Relax above traffic and enjoy the view. Go from Metro to your terminal in 10 minutes or less. Trains arrive every 2 minutes. Easy on, easy off. Construction begins in 2018 with completion in 2023. It's the easier, faster, more efficient future of LAX. Learn more by visiting flylax.com.
So we are very excited to finally get this huge project. As you all know, we have been wanting this for some long time, and for it to be completed by 2023. I don't know if you guys have been to LAX recently, but traffic from previous years have always been the main issue. So with this huge transportation project, our main goal is to, of course, alleviate the traffic. Can anyone guess? You guys already saw, but can anyone guess how much the project is in total? You can put in the chat box, and I'll give you a few minutes. If you did see, awesome. If not, give me a huge guess. I would like to know what numbers you guys are thinking right now. It's such a big project with 4 different construction companies composed of Balfour Beatty, Dragados, Floor, and Flatiron. So if you guessed right, it is $2 billion. Can anybody be shocked about that? I am, because that's a lot of money, right? So it is, of course, a 2.25 mile elevated guideway with the 200 and passenger per train with luggage, of course, 10 minutes end to end. And the cost of it is, of course, free. And it'll, of course, operate 365 days out of the year. In addition to that, we are in charge of the design, build, finance, and of course, the operation and maintenance once completed by 2023. And on my right, you can see a few renderings of the project and how it'll look once completed. I also wanted to show a few of the construction pictures that have been taken throughout the duration of time. For this one, workers verify the correct placement of the guideway reinforcement bar. Here we have LINXS also supports local skilled craft workforce on the automated people mover project. So with that being said, there's a lot of pre-apprenticeship program and apprenticeship programs that help students who don't think, 4-year might not be for them and wanted to get in construction making 20 plus an hour or $32 an hour as a skilled workforce. And we also encourage women. So right now we have about 48 women who currently work on the project. A lot of young ladies always come to me and ask well, construction, that might not be for me. But I always let them know hey, yes, we have so many women who currently work in construction, who work in engineering, who work in BIM, such as Ashley. We have a lot of project engineers as well. So it's also an opportunity for women as well. We also have LINXS skilled craft prepares for the maintenance and storage facility vapor barrier. So if you've been around LAX, we have a lot of the rental car facilities scattered around LAX. Well, once in 2023, we're going to have a maintenance storage facility compartment where all of the rental facilities will be all together in one building. So that's actually pretty exciting as well. And then here you can see the column construction has begun for the guideway segment that will service the future consolidated rental facility as I spoke of. So that's pretty exciting. So if you go to LAX right now, you'll see all of this and even more improvements. And then we also have our skilled craft who measures the prefabricated metal forms at the future West CTA station. So that's exciting as well. And then the build continues. Currently, right now, they are working on the actual train. So that's actually really exciting to see how it all comes together and forms this huge people mover. A lot of the crucial skills that are required to work on a project such as this is communication, of course, creativity, critical thinking, thinking outside the box. Of course, your math skills, that's very important if you want to get into the STEM industry. And of course, listening. Listening is very important in order to work well with others and work as a team to create such reliable transportation, such as our cars, such as other trains, the metro. That's very important. And so now I'll pass it on to Ashley. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much, Raygena. All right, thank you, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for joining this morning. My name is Ashley Amparano. I am currently the BIM Manager on the LINXS project. I want to give a special thank you to Gabriel and the team and Raygena for allowing me to speak at this event. So I'll go ahead and get started. So as was brought up, I actually attended community college prior to transferring into Cal Poly Pomona. So I earned my associate's degree at Rio Hondo Community College before I transferred to Cal Poly Pomona, which is a 5-year architectural program. So I transferred in, I was able to get a lot of my GEs done prior to transferring in. So I was able to work simultaneously while in the program. And I graduated in 2014 with my bachelor's in architecture. I was fortunate enough that I was required to do internship in order to graduate. So I interned at Floor for 2 summers prior to graduating, and they brought me on full-time as a designer once I graduated. So I was in the E&C industry, which is basically energy and chemicals. So I did a variety of different projects, from doing large reactors, as you can see here, to communication centers in Argentina and sort of tenant improvements. And I even participated in construction, where we built a structure out of can. So it was a very good opportunity working there. And from there, I was brought on in 2018 to LINXS, to the Automated People Mover, and I became a BIM manager for this project. So I've been here since March of 2018. And as Raygena brought up, it's a joint venture. So we're working with several different companies, but we're all one umbrella of LINXS. So as far as the BIM team, it's myself and 2 other teammates. Essentially with the BIM, I mean, there's a lot of what I'll go through, but a lot of it is also to setting up procedures and protocols that will be followed throughout the project. So that was sort of the initial step that was taken when I was first brought on. And then as of now, we've been more focusing on the fun sort of BIM aspects. BIM stands for Building Information Modeling. A lot of people think of BIM, they kind of just think of a 3D model or Revit or certain software. But in reality, BIM is really a process. It's a way of utilizing 3D models, or the 3D structures that are provided to us, and way of planning, designing, constructing, and managing. So it uses a variety of different tools to get the full implementation of utilizing BIM. So one of the big aspects that we are currently doing on the project is running clash detection. That's kind of the most cost-effective and the most beneficial as it relates to BIM. And basically what this does is it takes the 3D models that are provided to us, and we're able to essentially run real life situations with it. So I'm just going to give you a brief overview. So as you can see here on my screen, this is actually a model that we currently have with our trades that have it implemented into a single environment. So it's kind of doesn't have everything in it, so that's why there's a little bit of openings. But from here, since we have the different aspects such as piping and windows and glazing and the metal panels on there, we're able to kind of run clash detection between them to see where there's issues. So for example, here we're seeing that there's a pipe that's actually hitting another pipe. So we're able to quickly identify these by utilizing this Navisworks as the system that we're using. And from there, we can have discussions as to, okay, can this pipe be moved since it's actually a fire pipe? That sprinkler head probably needs to be in that location due to fire code. So can this pipe move? So from there, you're able to identify issues that would normally be in the field prior to going into the field and fabricating, so they can be resolved ahead of time. So this is obviously a big assistance as far as being able to fabricate properly, as well as when you're in the field, you're not going to be running into those issues there. It's also good too for steel fabrication, like I brought up. So if you're noticing bolts are hitting portions of glazing that needs to be installed, if these things can be shifted and things of that sort. That's sort of the main push of what we're doing now. We're currently running several stations at once with our different trades on board. And like I said, overall, that clash detection is kind of the most beneficial and cost-effective portion as it relates to BIM, because you can easily get results and see the changes that are needed. So another thing that we're utilizing BIM for on this project is 4D modeling. So basically what 4D modeling is taking the 3D model and combining it with our scheduling. So what this does is it allows for a quick way to see the sequencing being done in a visual way. So how this is done is we basically take the different elements within the model and add a parameter to it. And then we basically correlate that parameter to a parameter in the schedule. So you're able to kind of get a one-to-one correlation between the two. Right now, this is a video that we did to show sort of the logistics planning for one of our stations being built. So what this says, as you can see, there's a drill rig coming in and columns are going in. This allows for people to get a quick understanding of what's going to be happening, and like false work is going in as columns are going up. For entry-level positions, I mean, as far as BIM relates, I mean, there's a lot of, I kind of started in with architecture very early on. So, I mean, there is some sort of entry that could be done utilizing BIM as well. It's a big industry, so there's constantly new technology that could be used. So as you're seeing here in the 4D model as well, if you look in the upper corner, you could see that there was actually construction being done as well. So that this is a quick way to be able to see what's going to be happening simultaneously. Again, with 4D, you can do it as granular as you want. You can basically do it like how we did station by station or large areas, or you could do it as detailed as wanting to show every nut and bolt, every panel being installed and things of that sort. What 4D modeling does, it just gives a quick visualization of what's going to be going on and help people get an understanding of the schedule as it relates to what's being done and actually on the site. So the next sort of fun thing that we're doing with the BIM is obviously using it for virtual reality. This is kind of what everyone's sort of used to as it relates, people have all played video games and things of that sort. So this is a more familiar topic that people are aware of. And just a way to give people obviously a perspective of what's going on. So what we did here is this is a quick video showing sort of the user's experience as they're walking from one of our pedestrian walkways. This is actually at the very end where Tibbet is located, to how the user experience would be to get onto the station itself. So I always make the joke that this is probably going to be the only time you'll ever see it empty. Probably every time you go to LAX, it'll be filled with people, so you can enjoy it here. This is sort of a quick way, not only for clients or public and stuff, but just to get an idea of what it's going to be like going through the space and how the experience will be to person or pedestrian, walking in to get on the train itself. The next sort of portion with virtual reality, so I'm not too sure if everyone has their cell phones near them, but if you take out your cell phone, I know for iPhone, I'm not too sure if it's for all phones, if you use your camera setting and you take a picture of these that's on the screen here, it'll open to a website. So what these are, we're calling them sort of the views of the stations itself. So as you can see here, you can kind of take a picture of it and it gives you an experience of what it's going to be like at standing those specific locations. There are QR codes. So for each station, this is again sort of a way to give the public just an idea of what we're going to be building. I think a lot of people don't understand the vastness of it. So this kind of gives a perspective of a person standing on those specific locations, what they're going to be experienced, when they're at West ITF, at the Center CTA. Yeah, and you can rotate them around and things like that to kind of get a user experience of what it's like to be on those locations. So to talk a little bit about the careers, as was brought up, I am currently en route to get my license. So I will become a licensed architect. So for the architectural career, there is schooling that is required. You either have to go to school or you need 5 years experience either in schooling or in the working environment. And then from there, you're required to take 6 separate exams through NCARB. Those kind of vary from structural to codes to contracts, and then to get your state licensing exam based on where you're located. So I need a California license. As far as sort of the, cons, we'll say, the hours are longer than most. You're typically a salary employee and you kind of just work until the job is complete. And you really do need good communication skills. Being an architect, you're kind of good at kind of doodling and things of that sort, but you still need to be able to explain the intent and the desire of what you're wanting to portray. You do need to be a little more software savvy, we'll say. There is a lot of different softwares that are required in order to, produce the different items that we do. So you do kind of have to be a little more technical savvy. One of the big perks that I personally enjoy about this architecture career is that the fact that it is tangible. It's very rare, you get to be in a career where you can actually see the fruits of your labor, we'll say, and you can actually sort of experience it, right? You can have this intent of what you're wanting to design, and then you can actually go to the space and you can touch it and see what you actually did design. And then another big perk, obviously, is being in LA. Los Angeles has a ton of amazing architecture. So if you really are interested in the field, I highly recommend you just go out and walk around in LA. There's tons of amazing buildings and structures that can, sort of inspire and you can admire to get more inspiration. So as it sort of relates to transportation, I know that that's kind of been a push or in the discussion for this. Architecture isn't really typical, the first thing that comes to mind as it relates to transportation. But in reality, almost all forms of transportation have some form of design aspect, whether it's a bridge or, a station like we're designing, or even a gas station. All of those have to have some sort of design aspect added to it. When it comes to transportation, there's going to be a user experience. They're going to want sort of something to be iconic or something to be known. Although architecture isn't the first idea to come to mind as it relates to transportation, it is kind of used vastly across that industry. So sort of in conclusion, I focus on architecture, but regardless, these are sort of the 5 things that I kind of have to give. You have to really love what you do, regardless of what career you decide. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to love every single minute of it. There are going to be trying times, but at the essence, you have to really love what you do. You have to be able to get up and do it every day. So you need to find something that you really love and enjoy doing. Another thing is, take your own path. As I said, I went to community college. I was a little discouraged in the beginning, obviously, as I graduated from high school. A ton of my classmates and stuff were going off to, 4-year universities, 5-year universities, and I was sort of stuck at home going to community college. But in reality, it was truly, I think, the best career choice I could have made. I wasn't financially feasible for me to go to a 4-year, 5-year university at the time when I graduated high school. And I really did get a good base and an understanding of what I wanted to do at a community college. I was able to, like I said, get a lot of my GEs done. So when I transferred and I was able to work, I was able to not have to pull any all-nighters for architecture, which is kind of unheard of, just because I was able to get a lot of my things done and I had a good, strong understanding of what I needed to do to get the task done. Another thing is ask. I know a lot of people, especially new into the industry, are kind of hesitant to ask questions because they don't want to seem like they don't know anything or that they're dumb or whatever it is. But in reality, everyone's been new. I've never had an experience where someone doesn't want me to provide me knowledge. Everyone I kind of have ever encountered are actually more excited and encouraged to want me to learn, obviously. So I think that don't be afraid to ask questions, even if you think that you shouldn't. That's the only way you're going to learn and get the experience. And, everyone's going to be more than happy to help. And on side of the other foot is sort of share what knowledge you have, right? So if you do get that experience, share what you know, especially if you're in a new meeting or things of that sort. It's always good to have a new perspective. A lot of industries kind of do things the same way because that's just how it's been done. But obviously everyone has their own interpretation and new ideas and new perspectives. So if you have an idea, please, share it. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Lastly, have fun. You have to really enjoy what you do. Find the little happiness and everything. On this project, which I really love, what you're seeing here is photos of actually me being able to go on the site. I think that's been a big perk, is that on this site, being so local and being in LA, I'm able to go and actually see the construction being done, seeing the progress being made. So you have to find little moments like that, even though work can get a little hectic, but going out on the site and actually seeing the progress that is being made is a good, fun opportunity. That's basically the end of my presentation. I did want to share one more thing. That's my 48-pound watermelon. It was a big old watermelon. So like I said, you have to find little things that you enjoy, and I do enjoy gardening, so it paid off. So thank you, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the presentation, and if there's any questions, I'll be happy to take them.
Wow, and that's bigger than Eva's dog. Wow, that's crazy stuff. Very cool. And what did you say you ended up doing with the watermelon?
We ate it. You had to give a lot of it away, but yeah, we ended up eating it.
Okay. Must have been a huge fruit salad.
Yeah, we had watermelon for days.
Watermelon for days. I love that. Just really quickly, I want to get back to a few questions that were in the chat. And if you have any more, feel free to drop those in. But going back, Sui Chung said, to all speakers, what do you think are the most important soft skills that you need to get your career goals that you want?
Oh, that's a good question. Me personally, I feel like communication is definitely key, especially working on huge projects like this. Of course, math. In any STEM, career, you have to do math. So learning, your basic math to your calculus, to your geometry, all of that is very important. And also being able, like Ashley mentioned, ask questions and keep learning. Asking questions is so important, especially nowadays, since most of the jobs require you to be virtual. You're not in person. So you have to reach out and figure out, well, who's a lead for this? Who's a lead for that? How can I get Ashley to speak at this presentation? I need to reach out to her and figure out when she's available. So communication, once again, is very important. And I also feel like, teamwork, being able to adapt to everyone's different, skills. Not everyone's capable of learning the same way you're learning. So being adaptable and being able to be teachable. Of course, keep learning, especially during this pandemic. I'm always reading articles. I'm always reading new books. Like most of my money on Amazon goes to new books. So being able to keep learning even once you graduate high school and college is very important.
Fantastic. Thank you. Did we have any other questions? Somebody wants to know, was this your original career choice?
For me, actually, no. When I was in high school, I actually wanted to be a doctor, but then I kind of got thrown into a drafting class in high school, and it kind of just changed the course of everything. So like I said, from there, that was a reason why I kind of went to community college, because I knew I liked it, but I didn't really know what I could do with it. So then that was sort of what helped me in community college was I kind of narrowed in that architecture was kind of the route that I wanted to go.
The same for me. I would have never thought I would get into construction. I was like, what, construction? Even my interview, I was like, no, I don't think I have this. I don't know anything about construction. But for me, I've always had a passion for community since middle school. And so from there, that brought me on to, working at different schools, being a part of different organizations. And I thought I wanted to be a lawyer and I wanted to get in law school once I graduated a political science degree. But then I also had a passion with just, the basics of doing nonprofit work and also working with other foundations. And so I think that's how that sparked this interest with working within the community, and then just learning about construction as a whole is very important too, and to advocate for many of the STEM careers that are out here. So yeah, that's how I got into it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Regina. I think that's really great in context to that earlier comment that you made with regards to females working in construction as far as that goes. And you're sort of a living example of that. So we really appreciate your insight with regards to that. So somebody has a question for us folks who work at EXP, which is awesome. So to everyone that works in EXP, what is the most difficult project that you all worked on? Geez. I'm going to throw it to my colleagues, Alejandra and Eva. Maybe they can take that one first.
I think every project has its challenges, but I think the most difficult project that I've ever had the opportunity of working on is, I think, Women in STEM Day. It's my largest project. I get to manage different stakeholders, starting from guest speakers to our exhibitors to our keynote and to all of our amazing students that joined the event that day, which last year I believe we had over 450 young ladies attend our event. So managing the different moving pieces and making sure that you're prioritizing and making sure that you're not missing anything is definitely challenging. I get anxiety for everything and anything. So I have to make sure that my calendar is spotless when it comes to creating a timeline for that event, because it's so big and because, like I mentioned, there's so many stakeholders involved. I need to make sure that I calendar out and my timeline is being hit all along the way. So it's a year-long planning process. So it's definitely Women in STEM Day has been my most challenging project. Eva.
Which is, coming up in February. So to our Gardena High School students here in the audience, hopefully some of you will be in attendance for that great event. We have some exciting.
Thank you, Gav. I forget to market it. Yes, our Women in STEM Day is on Wednesday, February 24th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. It will be taking place virtually on our Socio platform. So for all the young ladies in the audience that are interested in participating in the event, we will be sending out information soon.
Great. Eva, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I was just going to agree with Alejandra. I feel like for me, anxiety is rampant in my bloodstream. So anytime a new project comes along, it feels like the hardest, most difficult project, whether it's Women in STEM or GPS Your Future. Being able to communicate well and having those soft skills that Ashley and Regina just talked about, being able to communicate, multitask, being organized, that really helps with the process. So everything for me feels super big and large and huge, but it's manageable. And the moments like these, it feels worth it because I get to work with students and young professionals and our amazing school lead teachers like Miss Harrington. So yeah, that's my answer to that. Thanks for that question.
Yeah, it was a great question. I'm just going to add really quickly because I know there's other questions that we should get to. Making the pivot to virtual was definitely a challenge, and we continue to learn things every day, like how to share your screen properly and what have you. I would say to the potential future workforce, always be ready for the next pivot because it'll come before you know it. So you want to make sure you have a valuable skill set. Fantastic. Okay. So Eva had a question. How has the pandemic impacted the People Mover project? How did your team adjust? In what ways is work now different?
So I can speak on behalf of my department, and Ashley, maybe you can speak on yours. And in regards to construction, of course, construction is nonstop, gratefully. So jobs are continuous throughout the year. So nothing has really been impacted in regards to that particular portion. But as far as in-house and in the office, of course, we all had to find ways to, work virtually, stay connected to all of our community partners, and then make sure we're supporting our small businesses that currently work on the project, whether it's financially or even working on the project, to make sure they're secured and good to go. So in-house, it's been kind of a challenge, trying to navigate and stay in partner, especially for me as a youth advancement coordinator, trying to stay in contact with all the teachers, of course, and trying to stay in contact with all the schools. It was really thankfully EXP reached out to me and they kind of saved me sometimes, because I was like, wow, I don't know this month, it's kind of challenging. So, staying connected to different partners was definitely, very grateful for various opportunities that we've had throughout this whole pandemic.
Yeah, and just to add what Regina said, so construction is still ongoing. Obviously, we've had to implement, what was required by the CDC and school state regulations. So there is additional sort of protocols that are in place, but as far as construction, it's still ongoing. As far as, my team, the BIM team, luckily we're very technical savvy. So we're able to sort of work from home. It wasn't too difficult because, all of our coordination is sort of done online anyways, but it is sort of making sure that that communication is still on. We have Skype, we have cell phones, we have different ways to communicate. So just not as, easy as before where you could easily just go over to someone's desk. So it's just making sure that you sort of keep communication open with everybody and you're properly able to get your thoughts and everything across to everybody.
Great, thank you. We have a great question from Linda in the chat. What do you recommend we as students do to find our niches and a career that may interest us, right? Because like you both are talking about careers that are exciting, but it's not necessarily anything that may be marketed to students. So like, how do students find careers like this? I mean, I think attending something like this would be a good first step, but in what ways can students really find these careers that maybe we don't know about?
That's a great question. For me, I would honestly research, reading articles. YouTube is like a game changer. Like I use that now, like in finances, because that's very important, how to invest in, do your own business. That you can use YouTube as a way to create your own business, to work on exciting projects like this. So definitely using YouTube, definitely checking out the different summer camps that are held virtually. There's so many scholarships out there for these summer camps. So just trying out everything that you can. Michael's, they host different craft workshops and stuff. Instagram is another game changer right now. Like technology is really growing as we speak, and so using Instagram to figure out the different small shops and figure out, people are doing a lot of tutorials on reels and seeing that, and then using your creativity to say, well, if they can do that, I can do that. So I definitely think using your resources online will definitely help create and help you find out what niches you like to do.
I agree with what Raygena said. I mean, a lot of it too, unfortunately with pandemic, you're not able to get as many classes, but I really think that taking classes, or if you're finding something that you thoroughly enjoy, maybe exploring that a little bit further. Like I said, I mean, you don't have to really, really love it, but if you're good at something and you enjoy doing it, I think that's something to really explore further in. And like I said, as far as myself, I mean, I was studying to be an architect, and sort of BIM kind of came out of it because of, just circumstances. But there are little niches within every industry, right? So if you kind of get the overall umbrella from there, you can kind of either localize or find something more specific that would fit something that you're more interested in. But I think if there's something that you really enjoy and you're kind of good at it, I mean, just explore it further and see where it takes you.
Fantastic. Thank you. Are you guys doing okay on time? I just want to make sure, I know we're going a little bit over. I just want to make sure we're being respectful of your schedules and what have you, because we got a lot of great questions. I believe the next question is, Abraham, are all the tools that are utilized on projects provided?
All the tools utilized on the project. So in regards to what particular tools are you referring to?
Yeah, Abraham, maybe you can give us a little more context as far as that goes.
While Abraham's typing that out, do we want to go to the next one?
Yeah, let's go to the next one. Fatima Reyes asks, by what I've heard, architecture and construction takes creativity, teamwork, math, etc., which can be skills that not everyone has, although it may be a career that people may want. What would you say to the students that are conflicted with their career choice and skill set? Wow, that is a fantabulous question. Thank you, Fatima. Yeah, go ahead. Ashley, maybe you want to answer that one?
So, I mean, I guess when you're saying conflicted, you're not sure what you want, but I mean, I think if you explore both options, it might help to make the decision for you of what one you kind of enjoy more, or what one, seems to be coming a little more easier. I mean, not necessarily just because it's easier, you should take it. But I think exploring many options is always useful across the board. Like I mentioned, I think going to community college or like taking classes is a big help, because you're able to kind of experience things sort of firsthand and more realistic than just watching a video or things of that sort, but actually being in the situation, so you can kind of make a better choice on if this is something that you think is a good fit for you. As far as you're saying for career math, I mean, so if you don't really have necessarily, like I said, if you're not strong in math, that doesn't necessarily mean you shouldn't do architecture, right, or any other career because of that. I mean, I think obviously it gives you a hand up, let's say, but it doesn't necessarily mean you shouldn't do it just because you don't think you're good at it. I mean, there's different niches and different avenues you can take, and it doesn't necessarily mean just because you aren't, getting A's on all of your math tests doesn't necessarily mean you shouldn't do the career that you want to do. I was not a great student as well. You're able to kind of find ways to either advance yourself even by studying harder or find different avenues to take that will help you advance your career.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
also to piggyback on that, don't feel discouraged. Like, I know high school is very intimidating, especially when you see so many people getting, accepted to the 4 year and get the scholarships and get accepted to other programs where they're giving them money and stuff. Also just don't feel discouraged. Honestly, keep pushing, keep trying, and keep trying to figure out what is best for you. Honestly, expect the unexpected, because I believe for both me and Ashley, we never would have predicted we were working on a historic project like this, especially, me coming from my background. I knew I was going to do something influential, but not as impactful to the community like this.
Wonderful. Yeah, I think that's, again, Regina, I think that's just great advice in general. Expect the unexpected when it comes to your career, because it's going to take you in all different kinds of places that you never thought you would be in. So that's a good lead into this next question from Daniel. What is the estimated time that it takes for any architecture, including the people mover?
Like, as far as design, I mean, it kind of varies. I have obviously a lot of friends who are in the architectural field. Our project is a little bit more of a specific and kind of a one-off, being that it's such a huge project. But, the standard project takes anywhere from a year or two, depending on, how large it is and what needs to be designed, and obviously getting all the permits and all that stuff, and then the actual construction. So it all kind of varies based on the actual project itself and the size and all that stuff. But I would say, I mean, a standard time, maybe 3 years, is probably about average for most projects.
One more question from Joseph. How many departments are there, and what's the difference in the departments? So I guess referring to the LINXS project and the People Mover project, how many departments are there, and what makes each one unique?
So we have several. So I don't know if Regina wants that. So we have several different departments, going from an estimating team to a scheduling team. As far as construction itself, we have, a civil team, a utilities team. So there's quite a bit of different departments within the LINXS project. I mean, even communications team and things of that sort within the LINXS project itself. I mean, and each one kind of brings a different aspect to the table. Like I said, I'm technically a part of the construction team per se, because I'm working on the construction aspects, but a lot of the 4D modeling that's utilizing the scheduling, we did actually some with the cost estimating as well, utilizing the models. So although we're all sort of different teams who bring different things, we all kind of work interchangeably together.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. There's so many different teams, from communications to, I serve on the inclusivity and diversion team. And then we also have like a team that, PDBM team that, verifies all the letters and gets it routed throughout the office. So say if you want to do, this presentation and you wanted to work with Gardena Unified School District, of course they have a team to approve the letters and send it over. Like it's a lot. It is a lot to make it come together, even with the designs, like Ashley mentioned, like getting the design approved by the mayor for the tram. They're working on that too. So there's a lot of different components that come in this. It's very exciting.
Fantastic. Okay, so we got a couple more questions here. What are some inspirations that led you to where you are today?
First and foremost, of course, my parents. You have to shout out, if you have great parents that made so many sacrifices. My mom is just amazing. And of course, just my network throughout my years, and how much my mom has invested my network in making sure I'm kind of set up right to go through and make, a lasting legacy in my family. So through this particular career, I joined a professional development program, and, I was straight out of college, and I was kind of like at a minimum wage job, not really a minimum wage job, but it wasn't making like, a decent amount, which I'm grateful for because I learned so much from. But from there, I joined a professional development program that was like, costly, but I was like, it was at USC, and I knew it was going to provide me a well in-depth, network to help me get into the career field I am now. And through that network, I have a lot of people who work in LAWA who were actually a part of that network too. And my boss was a part of that network. So just for it to all come collectively together is just amazing to see, you know? And for me, at first, I wasn't gonna join that, you know, professional development program because I was like, well, I don't want to pay that much money. I still have to pay my student loans, you know, and just seeing, you know, someone from that professional development say like, hey, Regina, I think this position is perfect for you. You already do it. And then just to see all of, we call it, their law pie sisters to me, and see all of them working and have, you know, high executive level of positions like my boss and other people who work in law and sit in those high end meetings, just like, wow, it's all coming together. So just don't be discouraged too. That's also what I want to, you know, say in this little spiel that I gave you guys.
Great, great. Okay, so we have a lot more questions. We probably only have time for a couple more because, again, I want to be respectful to our speakers' time. What is your favorite thing about your job?
So for me personally, I mean, for this specific job, like I said, I think I'm fortunate to be able to go out into the site and actually see the construction being built for this project, which I wasn't able to do when I was at my parent company floor, just because we were building, you know, large reactors and things of that sort, which wasn't able to sort of get on site for that. And I think a lot of big favorite about my job is also the people that I get to work with. I mean, you're kind of building a much bigger network now, especially since we're a joint venture company. So I'm meeting a lot more people than I would have if I was just stuck at floor itself. But that's sort of my favorite currently on this project here.
So my top favorite one is, of course, working with students when before COVID and doing like, we actually do STEM activities and giving away drones and giving away gift cards to see, you know, students' abilities to build things on their own and think, you know, creatively about, you know, the different projects that we assign to the students. And second, of course, growing with the project from starting, you know, in 2018 and seeing nothing at LAX to driving by now and seeing like, wow, this is really growing and I'm actually a part of this. Is just, it's really amazing just to see it all coming all together.
Great. And one last question from Adrian. From the Quick Facts PDF, I saw the cost to ride the People Mover was free for airport users. So how would you guys generate income?
Well, I mean, it's not to generate income. It's through, so it's a private partnership is what it says. P3 is what it stands for. So the way it's sort of generated is through sort of bonds and things of that sort. So that's how we're able to get the funding needed to build the project.
Great, great, fantastic question. We are going to go ahead and call it then. I just want to take a quick moment to drop the ProvenReady and EXP website information in the chat for students, both high school and community college students who are interested and about learning more. So please feel free to go ahead and check that out. Any other final thoughts before we exit?
I just wanted to say I dropped down the LINXS website. Sorry, I can't talk today. The website for you all to check out the recent more construction pictures that we have on there. So if you want to look at them, they're definitely on the website for us, and as well as our youth engagement fact sheet for anyone else who's interested in learning more about our youth initiatives and our internships and scholarships. All of that information is on our website as well.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. Any other materials you wanted us to share out with attendees, feel free to forward over and we'll shoot it out to everybody. Okay, I'd like to thank everybody who showed up. We had a fabulous turnout today. We really appreciate you taking the time. Let's give another big thank you to our speakers here today, Ashley and Regina, and for sharing their expertise. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, everybody, have a great day. And
thank you so much, EXP. Thank you so much, Ashley, for your time. Really appreciate it. Have a great week. Happy holidays to those who celebrate. And, yes, have a great winter break.
Great. Yes. Yes. All right. See everybody soon. We'll have some other events like this coming up.